Hello everybody and welcome back to RogueTech, where we've got some repairs to do and we need to tick forward at least 3 days here. So we're going to hit the financial report. The question is, do we want to wait on the Shadowhawk? And I think the answer to that is likely no. The Shadowhawk is going to take a while to repair, no doubt about that. Let's go ahead and accept this next month's financial report, and we'll tick forward a few days here. That means that the Shadowhawk and the Shadowhawk's pilot, Hardcase, are still going to be out when we finish everything else up. But I think that's okay. So we finish the hoplite now, and I think now is when we deploy. We leave the Shadowhawk and Hardcase at home. That's the concept, anyway. Let's hop into our barracks and get some pilot upgrades going here. What do we got? Coach could actually... What do you drive, Coach? Are you just a flat-out sub? You are. So I'd want to go as generic as possible with Coach then, and I think we would end up just going with Bandit. That's extremely generic. It's a very powerful ability. Let's just take that. So GV from here, we would probably take a point of tactics, although it doesn't really matter all that much for GV, who is just kind of chilling until we get another vehicle. Everybody else other than Weasel Cakes is fine, but Weasel Cakes can take a point of tactics as well. Okay, so what are we going to deploy to? That's the question we need to ask now. We've got about 8 million C-bills, so I wouldn't mind something a little complicated here. This is a blackout mission, which of course means that we'll have some tonnage restrictions. I'm wondering what the tonnage restrictions are. It's going to be 400 tons? Okay, so this is 375 right now. So we could actually do this. We are not allowed to drop 7 units, only 6. So we would not drop the Trebuchet, but otherwise this fits within our tonnage requirements. So we could certainly do this. We could even bring the Shadowhawk if it, if we had a Lance slot for it. But this is going to be against local government, I think, so I'm not too concerned about what we might run up against. Otherwise... Do we have our primary pilots here? We have Coach in the Black Knight, and I believe that's supposed to be Capo in the Black Knight. Yeah, so we're going to put Capo back in the Black Knight. Otherwise, broadly, this looks good. Lancelot 0 requires a unit over 5 tons. Okay, we're going to move the Black Knight over to Lancelot 0 then, if that slot actually requires a unit. So, there. Just moving that over makes it so that it'll work. It's a little fiddly, but whatever. As usual, it'll take a little bit to load, and Darius thinks this will be hard. He might be right, but he probably isn't. I'll see you guys after it's loaded. Okay, so here we are, all loaded up, and let's see what we've got here. We're going for 5 out of 20, or 5 and 21 salvage. So hopefully we have some decent salvage here. But we're going to cruise on forward and see what we've got here. This is, of course, going to be a somewhat complex mission, being a blackout. But let's see what we've got. We're not in combat to start, and of course, this is our target zone. So we're just going to sprint down as much as we can.
Onward.
And we're just going to close in on this area.
Roger. Affirmative.
And our Centaur... There we go. That took a moment to calculate. Our Centaur is going to head on up over here. Perfect. Okay. Hang on. We don't have a Word of Blake backup lance. That's unusual in these types. Okay, I mean, they're usually not very helpful, but there's often a backup lance in a blackout mission. Interesting. Well, we'll see what we've got up here. We probably don't want to trigger this quite yet, so I'm going to position our Centaur here, but we'll trigger it this round. So that means our Black Knight can position here, our Wraith can position here, our Apollo can position here. We're just making sure that we have cover for right now. Hoplite here, and I think our crossbow here would be good.
Location confirmed.
And then the Centaur will just pop up here. Do we have anything at all here? There's not necessarily anything up here, but I want to grab the Wraith and then position that up over here.
On my way.
Okay. Defenses are fully primed. So this is just going to be turrets. Gotcha. Looks like we've still got spawn protection. So for the time being, we can just position somewhere around these areas, right? So this will be relatively fine for now. Centaur can run up over this way. Okay. Now we've entered combat.
Talk to me.
So the Centaur is actually able to get in and melee this turret, which is pretty funny. Do we want to fire our missiles here? Honestly, I'm kind of leaning towards no on that one. Okay, let's move up and attack this standard LRM turret with a melee attack. And we're just going to fire our lasers and melee it. Oh, I guess we did fire a couple of missiles there. I think I didn't scroll down quite far enough. But I just wanted to chunk down that standard LRM turret a bit. Now, the Apollo is going to use ammo. We can fire on any of these turrets. And which one are we most concerned about? There's a standard turret here with a large laser, 2 medium. This is the same thing. So is that. And then we've got the LRM-15s. Okay. We're phase 18 right now. So we've got the Hoplite and the Apollo as our mechs that can be moved. What I'm going to do is I'm going to step back the Hoplite to here. And I'm going to start chunking down this turret here. I'm not going to fire rocket packs or chaff countermeasures, but let's see what we get done there. Okay, chunking down that armor nicely. I like it.
Commander?
Next up will be our Apollo, and the Apollo is going to look to take down this light standard turret. I don't know if we have the damage output to actually eliminate it here, but that would be awfully nice. Yeah, we didn't. I'm not shocked about that. So at this point, I'm going to move the Wraith up over this direction. We'll hop into this cover,
Onward.
and we're going to take out this LRM turret.
Confirmed.
Excellent. -1 turret there.
Target destroyed.
Next up, this guy is in rear arc of our Wraith. So I
How's it
do
going?
want to eliminate this turret here. Do we fire SAM or ER LRMs here? Let's go with the ER LRMs. Okay, so we penetrate the armor there, but we don't actually... Well, we eliminate the armor, but we don't actually penetrate it.
I'm here.
That's fine. I'm going to take the Black Knight off over this direction, and we're going to fire on this guy. That should eliminate that light standard turret, I think. Ooh, it's very close, but we missed all of those pulse laser rounds. That is highly unfortunate. So they fire on our Centaur there, only hitting a medium laser. Not a big deal. Ooh. They have machine guns? I didn't see that in the list. Those machine guns do a lot of damage to the Centaur. I definitely didn't note... Oh, there is a ballistic weapon there. Yep. Okay, I didn't notice that. That's my own fault. So the Centaur, of course, took a little damage from that. It's not the biggest of deals. We're going to head up here and continue to hit this light standard turret. And yeah, I didn't deselect these LRMs. I don't want to burn ammo on this.
Aye, aye.
So we're just going to continue to chip down that armor. This mech is not necessarily the best for dealing with this, right? But we're just going to turn around the Wraith here, and we're going to finish off this light standard turret. I'm not going to fire the PPC because of heat. Everything else should be fine. So there's one more turret down.
That turret is
Phenomenal.
gone.
And then Brick is going to look to fire on probably this light standard turret out here again.
Locked on target.
Structure exposure and decent hit there, but
Receiving
it
you.
didn't finish the job, of course. From here, we'll just fire on this light standard turret, I think, and get that eliminated.
Here it comes.
Kaboom. And let's get that last turret out of
That
here.
turret is gone.
So that will be our Apollo. No problem here. This light standard turret is turbo dead. There we go. Those turrets were hacked. We're going to be moving on to the next base. And where is the main compound? Main compound is off over that way. Okay, so basically the way we came.
Orders.
So the Black Knight is going to head off over this
On the
direction.
way.
We need to sink
Double
as much
that.
heat as we can. Unfortunately, our Centaur definitely did take a lot of damage.
Rolling.
There's no
going.
doubt about that. And that's all from those machine guns, right? The Protomech takes bonus damage from machine guns. 8 damage per machine gun is kind of insane, but it's all good. So at this point, we know that the Wraith is going to need to get caught up. I think this is a decent direction to come in, though. So we'll just head on up over here. This is going pretty smoothly thus far. Crossbow will be up here, and the Centaur will eventually take point. So the Wraith is definitely behind, but it does move faster than our fire support mechs, so that should be fine.
On my way.
We can put our Apollo here. Our hoplite can head up into this cover. And then our crossbow just needs to catch up a little bit here. Will this trigger it?
Confirmed.
No. Okay, good. I didn't want it to, so that's absolutely great. The Wraith is going to continue to progress forward. The Apollo will as well, and everyone will.
Got it.
Phenomenal. At this point, let's find out what's going on with the main compound. Okay. They're in the front lines, so this is becoming a base defense. Gotcha. Where's that invading lance at? Up over here? Okay. We see a Tiger, we see an Apollo, a Scorpion, and a Hunchback. That's a Hunchback 4E. Okay. I don't believe that's an AC-20. I'm going to reserve here. We're going to let them move first. Okay, so that Scorpion is going to fire on that infantry suppression turret. They don't have any infantry, so that's fine. At this moment, I'm going to continue to reserve, and we're going to let these guys move. The Hunchback 4E does not fire. The Apollo moves up and fires on the standard Shredder turret. Okay, I don't mind that. One more reservation here. Tiger main battle tank fires on the large building. That appears to be a Gauss of some variety. Okay, that's definitely a concern. So the Wraith needs to close in as much as it can. We can get some pot shots off on the Scorpion or on the Tiger. Hit odds are not great, but we'll pot shot this Tiger. We did miss, but we didn't actually hit this building, I don't think.
Now devoid of meaning.
Yes, your life should be devoid of meaning. Fantastic. So the crossbow is going to step forward. We're not going to sprint. We're checking hit odds here. 20. Okay, the Apollo is the best. Actually, the Hunchback is the best hit odds. That's a Thumper artillery on that Hunchback. Noted. Our fire support is focusing this Hunchy. Let's go. So we're going to soften it up a little bit. And the Apollo is going to step forward and continue to hit this side arc on this Hunchback. And this also not in cover, so that's very nice. Okay, more damage to the Hunchback there.
Yep.
The Hoplite is going to step forward, and these guys are spread out pretty okay. I'm just going to fire the Howitzer at the Hunchback here. Do we want direct fire? No, I think indirect is probably better. That is a terrible shot and did absolutely nothing. Okay. And the Black Knight is honestly just going to sprint forward here, and we can pot shot this Tiger, but I don't expect to get much out of it. We actually did hit it, though. Okay, that'll do. Next up, of course, is our Centaur. Now, I really want the Centaur to get in and start engaging them. Do we want to go around this way and flank them to the side, or go around this way, where the Scorpion is? I think we go this direction.
Roger that. So
we're just going to position there for the time being. Sensor locking that Apollo and doing 80 damage to it there. That's not bad. No damage to that Tiger, which is unfortunate. Okay. Phase 17, the Scorpion moves up. Positions there. Machine guns the large building. It nearly takes it down.
Talk to me.
So our Centaur is going to continue to head up over this way. We don't have direct LOS on anything, so we're not going to fire. But our crossbow can step forward here.
Moving out.
And I absolutely want to keep focusing on that Hunchback. 30% hit odds here are still okay. They're not great, but
Copy that.
they're okay. So we'll continue to hit the Hunchback. It will move next phase, so that's noted. The Apollo is going to move up over here and continue to hit that Hunchback.
Engaging target.
Still softening up that armor, and we'll see what it does here. So it steps forward and fires on the Apollo. Okay. We gave it a choice there. It could fire at this forward cluster or at the back cluster back here, and it chose the forward cluster, which I actually honestly prefer. So at this point, the Wraith is going to move up over this way.
Full throttle.
Let's check these hit odds. 32%, 44%, 23.8%. We could fire on the Scorpion. This is actually not one of the buildings that we have to defend. I feel like we're in danger of stray-shotting the building right in front of him, though. I want to fire on that Hunchback. Reason I want to fire on the Hunchback here is because he sprinted. He's very close to having that stability go up.
Taking the shot.
And that's actually a hit. Very nice. So the Hunchback is now unsteady and out of cover. He is in significant danger now. The Tiger's hiding behind this building. That's completely irrelevant to us.
Standing by.
The Hoplite is going to step forward over here and continue to drop artillery on this Hunchback. Terrible shot with the artillery again, but we do hit the Hunchback.
I'm receiving
That's
it.
fine. And the Black Knight is going to continue to move forward here, probably still focusing that Hunchback.
Confirmed.
Yeah. That's another 40 damage into his armor. He can't keep this up. Absolutely not. The Apollo is going to fire on that infantry suppression turret. I love that choice. That is great for us. So now that turret fires on the Hunchback. It gets a structure exposure and an engine crit. It fires its AC-20 and gets a solid hit there. None of the other turrets decided to fire. But that is a CT hit. I like it. At this point, I want to get into the rear arc of the Apollo. I want the Centaur to eliminate the Apollo, and that means an alpha strike here. So let's get all of these LRMs turned on. Let's go.
All weapons are go.
And there we go. One-shotting the Apollo. I love it. That is exactly what we're looking to do. Next, I believe that we're going to have the Centaur come after some of these vehicles. Firing on this large building. Okay, I don't mind that. Next up is our Apollo. And the Apollo is going to step forward out over here
Order
and
acknowledged.
continue to fire on that Hunchback. We could easily get a kill from here.
Target locked.
And there we go. Thumper ammo explosion into a
That's a
core
kill.
meltdown. Luckily, our Centaur was just out of range of that core meltdown, so I like
Ready
it.
for orders.
The Wraith can now close in a bit. I don't think it can really do anything useful here, but it can just position a little bit forward.
Yes, Commander.
The Hoplite probably also can't do anything
Head
too
down.
useful. I suppose we could drop artillery on, like, this Tiger. Yeah, do it. We'll
Fire
try to
on
soften
target.
it up a bit. It didn't happen, unfortunately. The Tiger pulls out of that little culvert it was in, and what's it going to shoot at? Standard LRM turret getting a through armor engine crit, but that's fine. The LRM turret can return fire here. So let's see what the turrets get done. But first,
Waiting for
our
orders.
Black Knight. So I want to position the Black Knight about here. The only
Roger
target it has is this Tiger. The hit odds aren't great. It's got 8 evasive right now. And it's sitting right in front of this building, which is one of our buildings, and it only has 73 HP left. I'm not going to fire the pulse lasers or the medium lasers, just the large.
Taking the shot.
Okay, and we didn't stray shot the building. Cool. Next
up,
up
huh?
is our crossbow. And I'd like to take the crossbow up over here. We're going to continue focusing the Tiger main battle tank. We can't build up stability on it or anything, but we can at least shred down its armor. That's exactly what we're going to do. Cool. That LRM turret also fires on it. It actually got a structure exposure. And the AC-20 turret just eliminated that one. This is going exceptionally well. Okay. That's
Document.
insane. We don't even want a rear arc on this then. We want a side arc here.
Roger.
So we'll position
Full
it
throttle.
here. We'll take this side arc attack and just fish for crits in there.
Affirmative.
And there we go. That's it.
Follow my lead.
That was far simpler than
Battle mech
anticipated.
down.
We'll put it that way. That did not go poorly at all. They can reestablish their data relay indeed. So in terms of salvage, what are we interested in from that? Well, we're interested in that thumper artillery. If that could replace, I don't know if we have the space for it, but if that could replace our howitzer in our hoplite, that would be amazing. I would really love to get that. Or just the Hunchback that has it in its entirety. I don't know if we'd be able to get that. We'll see. Beyond that, what did that... Actually, the main battle tank might not be too bad either. Let's see what's available here. Basically, all of the damage that we took came in from that couple rounds of... Ooh, that Gauss rifle's here. And the thumper artillery. Okay, we grabbed the thumper artillery here. But pretty much all of that damage came in from those couple of rounds of machine guns. Unfortunately, we don't see any ammo for the Thumper. So we're not going to be able to immediately use it, but we could grab an Artemis 4 attachment. We could grab that Gauss rifle, I suppose. And then beyond that, like a couple of Tiger MBT parts. There's nothing else in here that looks absolutely amazing for us. So we could definitely do something along those lines. Let's see what we get out of the roulette. I would love to see some Thumper ammo. I'm pretty sure we don't have any in stock. Let's see, components here. Ammo. Yeah, we have TBMs and Arrow 4 ammos. We do not... Oh, no, we do have a Thumper ammo. We have 1 ton of Thumper ammo available. I mean, that's 15 shots. That's plenty. So the question is, are we actually able to fit that on our hoplite? And what's the chance of knockdown on that? 11% chance of knockdown when firing in direct and flak mode. 22% chance when firing in artillery mode. Minus 100% chance if you braced in the round prior. Moving before firing cancels the bracing bonus. Okay. So, I mean, 22% chance of knockdown is a pretty high percent chance of knockdown. No doubt about that. We did end up getting a couple of basic cockpits and some heat sinks, basic sensors. Not interested in any of that stuff. Large chem laser ammo. I really don't care about that either. We got an SRM-4, which I guess is useful to have around, and a couple of extra machine guns, but we've got 5. I don't need the chem lasers. I guess we'll keep around the LRM-15 Longfire, and we did get 4 MBT Tiger parts. I don't think that we can get the Tiger online, but let's do some thinking here. So we have a Thumper. The knockdown chance is going to be significant. It's a 22% chance of knockdown when in artillery mode, and an 11% chance in direct fire or flak mode, which honestly is mind-blowing to me. I would have expected that to be the reverse. Because when you're artillery mode, a significant amount of the recoil would be going down into the ground through your legs, right? Whereas if you're in direct fire mode, the recoil will be going back. And that would be throwing you off balance, I would think. I would think that that's how that worked. But that is not the way it's implemented. Yeah, go ahead and get these repairs done. And I want to take a look. The hoplite is not one of the mechs being repaired. Can we even fit this thing on the hoplite? I don't know. I'm not sure what the weight delta is between a Thumper and a howitzer. We have, I think, 2 tons of medium rifle ammo here, so we can definitely ditch that if this ends up working. The howitzer is 10 tons, so that gives us 12 to work with, and the Thumper is 15. So we would need 16 total tons here. We have clan armor right now. We do have endosteel structure. So if we put the Thumper artillery on here, that would be fine. We would need to put the Thumper ammo probably down in the leg, as we usually do. So then the Thumper ammo would go down here. And that puts us 4 tons overweight. Okay. We could definitely consider dropping the AC-5 here. I think that's not a terrible idea. So we drop the AC-5, and that gives us 5 tons to work with. From here, the question is, what are we interested in? We could actually drop our rocket pack and maybe go with some LRMs or TBMs. I don't think we actually have any TBMs here, but we could go with some potential LRM here. Or a Mars. Weapon carries 6 salvos, so that would just be a strap-on. And that would just go something like that. But of course, that puts us 2.5 tons overweight. That's a theoretical option. Obviously, I think an Arrow 4 is not a good choice here. I think that's a terrible choice. We could go for that LRM-15 Longfire. We would only be able to put half a ton of LRM ammo in that. So there is that as a concern. But it is an interesting option. So an LRM-15 Longfire and then a half ton of LRM ammo, how much ammo would that actually be? 60 LRM ammo, so that would be like 4 turns of ammo. That's not a lot of ammo. That's not a lot of ammo. We could put in an Artemis attachment here. What's the weight on an Artemis attachment? We have a couple of those. And we do have ferrofibrous armor. That might be an option. That might be an option. Okay, where is that Artemis attachment? Can we not do this? Okay, there we go. So the Artemis attachment is 1 ton. Gotcha. We could definitely remove the ER medium laser or even a heatsink here. Nope, we cannot take off that heatsink. We're at a minimum amount of heatsinks. So we could remove the ER medium laser, and that gives us that half ton to work with again, right? So at this point, we would need Artemis ammo. So we could do something like this, and then we would need to get rid of an additional half ton. I don't suppose we have like an XL gyro. We have an XL engine, but I really don't want to put engine XL in here. That would not be ideal. We could go ferrofibrous armor. That would give us 1 extra ton, and we have 1 slot. So what we could do here is we could put that ER medium laser back on. That's interesting. And then max out the armor. This does work. The main problem with this hoplite is that it's going to be knocked down by the Thumper artillery. Possibly a lot. So that means our rear armor is actually quite important on this. Indeed. Let's go ahead and do this. We'll try it out and see how much it gets knocked down. I do expect it to be quite a bit. It is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we are going to get these repairs and refits completed, and we'll see how that ends up playing out. It's going to be very interesting. Very interesting indeed. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Andy McGar, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12UK, Kintogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.